Hey everybody, it's me, Robert Jones, back with a new video. Tyranny Down Under. Hope you guys enjoy this. Should have better quality now. I've just got a new phone, um, Motorola Moto G stylus, and the camera seems to looks much nicer than my than my old Android, which I had for 5 years, and the first smartphone I ever got. But I still got it. It's gonna be collecting. Well, maybe not collecting dust. I'll probably use it for other for other uses like phone keep it as for GPS, so it's still useful. But I just wanted to just do a short video about what's been going on in another A country in Australia. They seem to be doing some insane lockdowns. Some of the stories I've seen coming out of Australia, one that was pretty poignant in how the measures they're going through to keep people from congregating. They so there was a animal shelter that had some rescue dogs, and to keep them from being, I guess, keep them from being accessible to anybody. They were shot. They've been put down. And there's been people. I've seen a few videos of people who are upset about it. Namely, Jeremy from Midwestly, and Adam Kriegler on from his podcast. So that's been going on. They've been tracking people, saying, where they were missing from this, they were supposed to be home and they're missing from this location. And news reports about one guy, like in his mid-20s, and talking about how he's, supposedly he has the virus. But they're saying, they caught him. He was in an elevator by himself. I hope the same story, but he was in an elevator by himself, coughing. No, he sneezed. He didn't have a mask on, and they're basically putting out an APB for this guy. Like, well, some of the measures they're doing to try to keep, they try to keep people from getting sick is just out of this world. But the mask mandates, and there was also a story about these children. A number of children were forced vaccinated. I didn't see a video, but I've heard another videos where there was a kid, kids being yanked out of their parents' hands to get vaccinated. And what's all this nonsense? All this mess coming from? And you just hear more stories about people getting in trouble. Like there's one story, a guy who he's a motorcyclist. He was riding his motorcycle through the wilderness, and he got ticketed for being for breaking a curfew or some mess like that. Just a lot of stuff people getting in trouble for just enjoying a sunset. They were told you can't enjoy a sunset, can't go outside, and can't enjoy a beer without a mask on your face. And I understand, myself being an American, the things that I can get upset about what's done here in my country, but I would say about Americans, we have wide latitude as to how to deal with those things. And plus we have this culture about us where we're so against being told what to do that it gives those who want more power control. It gives them a hard time because we don't easily give in. I mean, it may seem like we easily give in, but we just have we can tolerate things for a particular for a duration of time, but then then our patience run out, and then we just get fed up and say, no, we're going to do our own thing, and that's our culture. But what they got down in Australia doesn't seem to be the case, because there are there seem to be people who actually like this stuff. They're happy to have basically become a police state. Apparently in Australia, I learned that Australia started off as a penal colony, and it seems like that hasn't changed. Considering all that's going on last year and now what's been going on now. These crazy lockdowns, these rules, and I think and there was protests. Which was good to watch. There were people protesting these new rules, and they're starting to stand up for themselves. But I think it's funny because as Americans we get made fun of for being gun crazy, for having an arcane thing like the Second Amendment. But really, that's really what keeps the control freaks in our country. It keeps them at bay. until they decide to bite off more than they can chew, it keeps them keeps them suppressed. Down to a certain level where they can't get away with the kind of stuff that they're doing in Australia. What they're doing in Australia, they necessarily can't do here, not easily at least. Maybe some places, like New York and California, or New York City and Los Angeles, or Seattle, Portland, places like that, they can probably get away with that. But not necessarily, not here in South Carolina at least. I don't think you're gonna see parents just standing by and letting their kids get snatched out of their hands, get vaccinated. Uh, there'll be some, maybe some lead flying, something like that happens. Um, but that's the thing where I know in Australia, their gun control has been just so out of this world that I think over the years and years of having that, ingrained, mixed in with their culture, I think kind of it dampened their willingness to go that far to maintain what they have, to stay free, to be able to go out there and enjoy a sunset or enjoy a beer, or things things that seem natural to do for any individual. Um, their government has been emboldened by the fact that there's not a much of resistance that can't be built up. Not to say that there aren't anyone out there who would use guns to get their lives into liberty, get all those things that they hold dear back. It's just that by and large, it'd be far more difficult to do something like that, because I estimate that not a lot of people, outside of a lot of people who live in the cities may not have access to firearms, and if they did, they still have all these, storage laws and what you're able to have. It's a whole lot of mess. So I think that's a big part of why Australia's government, and whether it be the government for the continent as a whole or in the various states, they're able to do all these things because, push come to shove, they hold nearly just about all the cards when it comes to utilizing force to get their way. Well, the people, they have to do what they can. But I know they're always people who are suffering in places like that. They always tell Americans, don't give up your guns, don't give up your guns, don't give up your guns. And trust me, from all the stuff that's going on last year, many people take that to heart. I certainly take it. I've long ago have taken that to heart, and it's a shame to see those things happen to a Western nation like Australia. But it's true that they do. Compared to the United States, they are vastly different from us in terms of their culture. So it'd be interesting to see how far the government is willing to reach, how much they're willing to grab more and more from the people before they decide to strike back in this in some form or fashion. But I think it's good for us to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff here in the United States. And like I said, I don't think it's highly unlikely it'll go that extreme. But like I said, there are places in this country. The United States is pretty huge, and there are places in this country that would let that kind of tyranny grow out of control. So it's always good for us to keep an eye out and do all we can to inform others, to prepare ourselves, and to stand up for ourselves. I understand it's an ugly thing, it's a scary thing to have to think about using force, but also let's always keep in mind that have that option should always be available to us, because sadly is not exactly available to those living in Australia. And we see what's come of that. But please share your thoughts. What do you think of this video? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love to read everybody's comments. Please share your thoughts. Leave a comment in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoyed my channel, check out my older videos and look forward to new videos to come. If you want to help out with the channel, go to my YouTube homepage. Look for the Give Up That Cheese button. It'll take you to PayPal, and you can donate any amount you would like. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I see what I can do to address them. Like I said, this is a new camera, so I hope the quality is a lot better than the old videos. But that's my video. Tyranny Down Under. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care. Be safe. Stay strapped, and God bless.